What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is JRob here from Team Energy Golf Clash, and we've got yet again another integration with Golf Clash, Playdemic, and Bubba Watson in the PGA here, birthing the Bubba's 9-hole cup. So we're headed over to Southern Pines. It's definitely going to be an interesting one this week, but I just wanted to make a quick shout out here to our first 4 patrons, Brent, Eric, Charles, and Antonio. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. And all of our new subscribers out there as well. Thank you guys very much for being part of the Team Energy family and supporting us. If you guys would like to check out our Patron page, you can head over to the link down in the description below, patreon.com/JRobGC. I'm going to be making a video here pretty soon that's announcing all of the, benefits and stuff that we are going to be offering as far as bonus content and information, guides and stuff for tours, tournaments and stuff like that on the platform. So that's going to be coming up soon, so definitely stay tuned to that or check it out here over on the platform. I've got a lot of the stuff laid out and some stuff up on the platform already, but it is in the process. But let's get to the guide, guys. We'll talk a little bit more about this when we're done, but let's check out hole number 1 here, par 4 here for Southern Pines and Bubba's 9-hole cup. Alright guys, what is up? Welcome to Bubba's 9-hole cup guide and walkthrough video here for Pro and Expert Division. So we've got quite an array of different options here for you guys to try, and if you guys are looking for more detailed information as far as, your shots and the things that, that's not practice here like we do on the YouTube channel, then you may want to go over and check out our Patron platform. But here on hole number 1, par 4 here, we are going to be playing this here to either the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Now, you're going to obviously be able to tell that one of these options is a little bit better than the other, and that's more than likely going to be the right-hand side. But we can also get a decent little shot here to the left-hand side if you set yourself up nice. So we're looking for that little bit of curl here, left-hand side spin, and around a full top spin there on your club with whichever driver you are using, because we're wanting to get down as far as we possibly can on that left-hand little panhandle fairway, because that's going to give us the, a lot more straight of an approach here towards the pin on this right-hand side, because as you guys can see, we're going to have to kind of curl it in even just that little bit, and I had quite a bit of topspin on my club there. So this is more than likely the shot that you guys are going to have to be trying to replicate here. And I went with 3 bars of right-hand side spin and roughly half of a bar of backspin here. And we're looking to kind of just dive it right in towards the cup. Now, this would have been a very good approach here and could have potentially made and landed this shot if I wouldn't have used just a little bit too much overpower there. So if we would have lightened up just slightly on the overpower, then we would have kind of came in and hugged that funnel there towards the pin. But there's actually a really great funnel option or a bounce over option here that we could potentially play on the right hand side. Now if you are having trouble getting to the pin on that left hand side and you're finding yourself trying to curl it around there and you end up in the bunker, you can potentially use the Guardian on this as well if you have a little bit better of a ball guide with the Guardian as it gets up into the levels, just to add that little bit of a distance. You could go with, the Hammerhead or the Guardian, something like that to help, get your approach more precise. But what we're looking for here on the right-hand side is to play it right in that little ear of the bunker, it looks like, on this right-hand side. There's a little P over there, and we're wanting to play it right off this little island right there. I just always thought it was kind of funny that little bunker there looked like an ear. But, hey, Golf Clash has got to make some shapes out of their bunkers, huh? It is what it is. But we're going to be playing that shot there at max distance, plus 10% elevation on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Now, there is a rough bump approach here that we can play, and you're going to have to use, a decent little bit of topspin, but I decided to show you guys the bounce over approach here because this is one shot that I've had pretty dialed in here. Now, usually here in a headwind, I'll roughly play this with about 2 bars of topspin here, but we over adjusted this one just slightly here, about a ring over, and we ended up catching just a little bit too much speed. So definitely make sure that you only play this one here at plus 10%, not 20%, like I did, trying to remember all of our elevations here in practice. But once we got the elevations up on there and everything a little bit more dialed in, I think it'll be a good approach there for you guys. But just lighten up on the top spin there just slightly if you are kind of coming in there too hot, like you just saw me coming there right over the pin. So it's going to be, a decent approach there, whether or not you guys want to go with either this rough bump option or the bounce over approach. The right side is going to be, in my opinion, your best bet at actually landing this eagle. Now, there's a very, very, good spot here in the rough that you guys are going to have to find, and that's, almost there with your red ring touching this rough line. And we're going to be going with about 7 to 7.5 bars of topspin, depending on our wind. Now, if we have a tailwind, you could go with, where your ball guide is just going into the pin. But if, we have that headwind, it is always a good idea to leave it just through the pin so that we know we have just enough. But as you guys can see here, it looked like it was going to come in very hot with a lot of topspin, but it rolls right over there nicely across the fringe, dropping for that eagle. Alright guys, that's going to move us right on over to the very first par 3 that we do have here today at hole number 2 for Southern Pines. So this is going to be a little bit more unorthodox of a hole here, and one of those par 3s we're really going to want to dial in here. So I'm going to do my best at explaining this here. So in rookie, we normally play this here with about 2 bars of backspin and that 3 bars of right-hand side spin. But here we're almost going to double up on what we do here in rookie, and we're going to be playing this with even more backspin here on this second tee box. So we're going to be playing this with roughly 3.8 bars of backspin here, and that those 3 bars of right hand side spin to the right there. And essentially we could use just a slight bit of curl if we wanted to, just that little bit to help push us right over towards the pin, depending on the wind angle that we do have. That's usually on a right to left wind that we'll want to kind of cheat back towards the right. Now, as you can see, my ball came in there just a little bit further up than we expected, and that is because on a tailwind and a headwind here, we're actually going to want to play this shot there at plus 15%, not plus 10% elevation, because it's actually going to be changing our club distance just that little bit there. So we're going to be using those max distance numbers, but just to compensate with that little bit of a wind push, we need to add that extra little bit of a percentage on there. So we need that plus 15%. I played this shot here at plus 20% elevation, and we did hit a great left ball here, so that did hinder us just that little bit and push us a little bit more towards the left here. But if we would have hit a perfect ball, it would have actually pushed us right a little bit more towards the right, and one ring further up, we would have been all the way around exactly where we needed to. So I actually over adjusted that one just that little bit, playing at that plus 20% instead of plus 10. So that plus 15 is going to be our vital number there right in between that we're going to want to look for if we have that tailwind or a headwind, but use that plus 10% in a crosswind. Okay guys, so for hole number 3, par 5 here, what we are going to be doing is playing this either one of 2 different options depending on your club setup, the ball that you could potentially use, and the clubs that you have. So the wind angle is also going to take a pretty good factor into this as well, because we're trying to use the highest power ball that we potentially have in our bag that may have just a little bit of wind resistance as well, especially if we have a headwind. But if we do have a really drastic headwind, and you're kind of getting, you can't get too far down the fairway and you're having trouble actually getting over the crick, or the bounce off of the island over, then you may want to just play this to the left-hand side. Now, the left-hand side is actually a very good option, so definitely don't sleep on it, because you can use that left-hand option and be like almost exactly where we're at, but a little bit further back. And you're going to be using your big dog to bounce off of the platform there to the left, right by those trees. and you're going to bounce over with the big dog full topspin as far as you can get down there, and that's going to allow us to use our short iron to the pin, and we're going to be just to the left of that, the top left hand corner of the oval bunker. We're going to be just about, a target out from where that bunker is, and we're going to be using about, a bar and a half to 2 bars of backspin and a bar and a half to 2 bars of right hand side spin to kind of guide us in towards the flag from the way that hill is sloped by that bunker. Now, that's going to be a very good option for those of you guys that cannot use this, straight on approach. But if you are using the straight on approach, remember that the second and third shot options are going to be played at 0% elevation. So just definitely keep in mind your club distance. And if we are using the end bringer here, make sure that we do remember our 20% rule for the end bringer. And if you guys aren't really too familiar with that, we are going to be doing a video on the Patron platform here probably soon enough for all of that, and discussing some of the wedges, short irons, and some of our wind and ring adjustment guides as well. But got a ton of stuff coming and stuff that we're working on, guys. But we're looking for that float option here. I actually am used to kind of playing with a higher level end bringer here and got my numbers a little bit mixed up. But we're looking for that little bit of the last part of ball guide to be just hooked right into the pin, so you guys know that you're not going to come up just shy and be like sitting right on the edge of the pin, because man, would that suck. But I also wanted to try to get, I was trying to get as far as I could down there on the fairway, but unfortunately the wind that we had off of the drive wasn't, really allowing me to get you guys a really great clip like I wanted to here in practice. But hopefully we're going to be able to do, some of our Golf Clash library holes as well for the Patron community, which is going to be pretty interesting too. So what we're going to do here on this hole is we're looking to play this either with the big dog or the Guardian. Now, I should have played that, directly where we were going to, but I should have played this with absolute full overpower. And we put a little bit too much curl on that one, and if you end up in the bunker, you're going to have to be prepared to hit that bunker shot right out onto the plateau and nail that eagle. So wherever your third shot placement is, you're going to have to make sure that you can set it up to make a nice shot. That is the key here. Now, if you're having trouble actually getting up and over that bunker, you're going to have to either use the big dog or just play it a little bit safer so that you don't end up in the bunker and have to chip out like that. But if you do, play it with a couple bars of backspin there, like you saw, roughly a bar or two of backspin, depending on wherever your angle is of your, up onto the plateau. You just have to guide it in there and just offset it that slight little bit to, kind of compensate for that little bit of wind push out of the bunker. Now, I also wanted to give a shout out to Red Sox 34 here, my opponent that I was playing here in practice. Made a fairly fantastic shot here for the dunk, and made me very happy that I didn't have to go over and try to do this one more time here to show you guys, because the dunk option is going to be a very vital option. It's going to be one that you're going to have to go with, because you can't use the full backspin approach because you'll end up in the bunker. Moving right along here, guys, that's going to bring us to the second par 4 that we have here today at hole number 4. So this is one of those holes that you can either play it one of two different ways. Now, if we play this to the left-hand side, what we're looking for is to get it just past that bunker on the left-hand side, kind of curled a little bit around over to the right of the bunker. And we're looking to play that with full topspin, about 2 bars of right-hand side spin, and our second shot is going to be the rough bump just outside of the green on that plateau. And we're going to use just a slight bit of right-hand side spin and 2 bars of topspin with our long iron. Now, if we are playing this right-hand side, which I would best recommend, we're going to be playing our second shot either with a long iron or a wood club there at around mid to minimum distance. Now, we're looking for 380-ish yards here to get it over on the right-hand side. So around 3 bars of right-hand side spin. We're going to want around 50% curl to the right and roughly 6 to 7 bars of topspin. If you have a little bit less, that's fine, as long as you don't bounce into the bunker. Now, that's going to leave us with a second shot option here at either the long iron or the wood club like we were talking about. Now, if you get a little bit too further up there, you're going to be mixed up into clubs, so definitely keep that in mind. Now, my opponent actually landed this shot here. He, oh man, I didn't think I landed that, and whoop, right into the pin. So that's because he forgot his plus 5% in elevation there. And he was playing that at max distance, so definitely keep that in mind as well. And essentially, he hit that great right, so it just was that perfect amount, hitting it great right to compensate with what he already moved his target for the wind push. So it ended up being perfect. So what we're going to do here, if we're playing this with the wood club, is pull this a little bit further back, and we're going to play it the same way with roughly like 4 bars of backspin and 3 bars of left-hand side spin. Now, there's a little bit of weird slopes here on the fairway, so keep that in mind, that you're going to have to look for almost the identical spot that I'm looking for, because if you're a little bit further back, your ball's going to hit a weird spot, and it's going to like ricochet it in towards the pin and hit a weird bounce, and it's going to go way fast. And that literally doesn't matter almost how much backspin you have on it when it hits that spot. So make sure you kind of stuff it up towards the pin to where your ball guide is just going into the end of that pin, and it doesn't extend out that ball guide. Okay guys, that's going to take us on over to the second par 3 that we have here today at hole number 5. So this may be a trickier one for some of you guys out there that are more used to playing this in, rookie division, or, like we did in the Golden Shot, Bubba's One Shot Challenge this week. But if you are feeling a little bit more, uncomfortable playing it on the left-hand side here with this approach, you can potentially play it to the right-hand side. And what I would recommend doing is playing that with half a bar to a bar of backspin and full left-hand side spin. And you may have to use, just about a ball or so of curl to the left. But we're looking to play this shot here off of the tee box at plus 10% elevation. Now, my opponent actually made a pretty solid adjustment here, and I did want to show the shot here, but he did hit great left. Now, if he would have hit a perfect ball, it would have been a little bit more angled to the right here, and he would have actually came in up and around about a square over to the right, and would have been very, very close at actually landing that one. So that's really what we're looking for there, is roughly 2 to 2.5 bars of backspin here, just over that little river line there. And we're looking for that 3 bars of right-hand side spin. Now, if we have a drastic headwind, we're going to have to kind of compensate, and we're going to have to play this, with just that little bit of an extra wind push like we normally would, but we're going to slightly loosen up on our backspin just that little bit, and we may almost play it with roughly, 3/4 of a bar of backspin. A bar of backspin is going to be, roughly the sweet spot around in there that you're going to want to play it on a headwind, because we're going to definitely need the push to get over the river, so we don't hit like the rough line or the bunker. Now, you may want to use just that slight bit of curl there to the right as well. And if I wouldn't have probably used that curl and hit a perfect ball here, we would have been very, very close. But I did hit that great right as well, so it put us, just that little bit of a ring over to the right. So we would have been very, very close on that one as well there, hitting that perfect ball. So just make sure that you guys can make a nice wind adjustment there on that one, and it should be a pretty straightforward hole there to, one of the better holes there to snag that hole in one, for sure. Okay guys, so the plan here for hole number 6, par 5, is to play the slice shot. Now what we're looking for there is that tree line on the right hand side. We want to be just where our ball guide is going to almost hit the very last left branch of that tree on the right hand side, and we're going to adjust from that position at plus 20% elevation. Now we're playing this with full curl to the right, and we're going to slice this all the way to the right. So as soon as the arrow gets as far as it can to the right, that's when we're going to shoot. So it's going to curl us all the way around this fairway, bouncing it straight down there as far as it possibly can to set us up for a beautiful albatross opportunity. Now this second shot here is going to be played at max distance plus 10% elevation. Now we're going to have to kind of use that side spin to cheat it around that tree, or if you get lucky, sometimes you can shoot between the trees, but definitely make sure that you aren't going to hit anything. Now, if you don't feel comfortable going with that drive opportunity, you could potentially play it straight down and get as straight down the middle fairway and get it as far down there towards that last bunker as you possibly can. You're going to have to play it with a big dog, and you're going to have to curl your ball all the way around to the right and use full topspin to essentially get your ball all the way down to roll up onto this fairway. If you don't feel comfortable with that, the right-hand side option is almost a better option. You want to bounce off of the first plateau and land your ball onto the second plateau. We'll usually play that with about a bar of backspin, just getting our ball onto that second platform so that we know we can make a nice little curled shot off of bouncing over this little bunker that I just shot over. Now, it's essentially going to be played with a sniper there, or a good club that has a little bit of curl so you can get over that. But make a nice short iron shot there, and you should have a very great opportunity. Alright guys, so we're going to move on over to hole number 7, par 4 here. So we can play this one of two different ways as well. Kind of depends on whichever way that you're really wanting to play and what clubs you're really working with. If you want to use a sniper to the pin and you'd rather go with a solid wood club shot, then you may want to play the right hand side. But if you're kind of like me, you'd like to maximize the best opportunities that you possibly can on each hole, and we're more than likely going to be playing this one here straight ahead. And curling this one around, trying to get over the bunker line and down that other fairway. So we're going to be playing this with 3 bars of right-hand side spin, around 6, 7, 8 bars of top spin, 50% curl here to the left, or to the right here, and getting our ball down there as far down that right-hand little hook here as we possibly can, because it's going to shorten up our distance to the pin here by quite a bit. Now, there is a funnel on the backhand half. Now, whether you're playing that to the right-hand side or the left-hand side, we're going to be either, essentially trying to catch the funnel for 2 out of the 3 of these options. Now, if we play it on the right-hand side there, we're looking to bounce it, off that little first island fairway up over onto the, the second little fairway there. We usually play it with about a bar of backspin, and then we'll be basically taking a wood club opportunity straight across the water there off of that first little island before the green, and then we're going to be essentially using a couple bars of backspin straight down over that little rough line and into the pin, trying to catch the funnel there. So we're going to be using one of those 2 different options, and I wanted to show my opponent's shots here as well, because he did actually use the long iron option here that we could go with. Now, I am in around max distance here with my short iron. So what we're going to be doing here is just trying to play like a straight up short iron shot. And this is kind of like our third opportunity here that we really can go with, and this is the one that we're really looking for here. Now, we're definitely going to have to keep in mind that we're playing this at plus 10%. I actually thought this was plus 5% as I was going over all my numbers and, practice and everything. And it is 10% here that we are going to be playing this with. So keep that in mind. If I would have had that extra little 5% there, we would have probably came in straight down right at the pin and actually landed this one. But I'm actually surprised here, too. It didn't do the whole, ooh type of thing. We were really close there, and it didn't even give us any oohs or ahs, So I was just wondering what was up. It must have been going a little bit too at a weird angle there, a little too fast. But that's essentially what we're looking for there, but spot on, so it'll drop. You may want to use just a slight bit of more backspin than I used there, than roughly around 2 bars or so ish, but you may want to use 2.5, 3 bars. But this is the long iron opportunity here with the funnel that I was talking about. We're going to be using full backspin on our Grizzly, and essentially with the Grizzly 9, we have that ball guide to get us right down in towards the pin, so we can really make a nice shot here with the Grizzly. So we're looking to catch that funnel straight down at the pin, so that that backspin kind of stops us right at the very top of the green, and it'll roll us right down straight into the pin. And unfortunately, he was just a little bit shy. So actually, on these kind of shots, we're more than likely going to have to over adjust that little bit and kind of keep it on the backhand half of the cup, so that that backspin is going to kind of stunt our ball, and it kind of pushes us to where it loses all momentum. So we know that our ball is going to kind of come back towards us as it funnels down. So we're going to want to compensate just that little bit over so it pulls back down towards the pin right at us. Alright though guys, that's going to move us right on over to hole number 8, the last of the par 3s that we have here today. Now this is going to be, one of those more unorthodox holes here as well that, we play it a lot differently in rookie division than we would here in pro. Now, we're either going to want to get out our Thor's Hammer, the APOC at a higher level with enough backspin. Keep that in mind. We're going to use the quarterback or even potentially the rocket. Now, what we're looking for here is if we're going to play this bounce over shot, we're looking for about a bar and a click, like 1.25 bars of left-hand side spin here, and we're looking for roughly 2 bars of backspin. That's going to essentially kind of replicate the sniper shot over the bunker here like we would in rookie, but we're actually using our driver. Now, we want to be just, to where, our ball guide is coming into the pin, because it almost looks like, you'd think that our ball is going to travel a lot further than it actually would, especially using our driver. But unfortunately, our ball guide is actually pretty spot on, so we're going to have to learn to trust it here on this hole. So what we're going to do is, if we don't feel comfortable playing the bounce over approach like that, we can potentially play it with Thor's Hammer, the APOC here. I don't believe the extra mile has enough backspin on it. You could potentially try it, but I don't think it has enough backspin on it to actually stick it and land it on the green. But you may be able to play this with a higher powered ball here in a rocket as well, but you may be into overpower. So Thor's Hammer is really my best bet here, or the rock. Could potentially use the rock as well. I didn't think about that at first. But that's what we're looking for there. Is almost, a bar of right-hand side spin to kind of guide us right back in towards the pin. Using that backspin right off of the end of the green there, straight at the pin, playing that at, anywhere from max, mid, or minimum distance, really, depending on the club that you're using, plus 10% elevation. So remember that. Alright guys, that's going to move us right on over to the very last hole that we've got here today at hole number 9, par 5. So, we can play this one of 2 different options here as well. Normally we would actually play this straight ahead, and that is going to be, the option that I'm definitely going to best recommend if you do have some higher level clubs. Quite a bit of topspin here. You can play it with higher powered ball, and definitely didn't learn my lesson from last week, because I got the greasy fingers again, guys, eating pizza and hit that good ball, but we were still okay. A-okay. We ended up with like 400 some yards here, and it's essentially going to set us up for a really nice second shot opportunity with a 2-bounce rough bump out onto the green. Now, that's going to be one of our best options there at actually getting the eagle on or the albatross opportunity is this option. Now, you can play it to the right-hand side and get it as far over towards that corner as you possibly can. And I wanted to show you guys my opponent's shots here in the way that he did play this hole, because it is a very good way to play the hole, except, his third shot option wasn't that great. So we're going to definitely correct that. But what we're looking for here is, you can play this with the rock, Thor's Hammer, basically whichever club that you wanted to get it as far over towards that corner as we possibly can, because it's going to set us up for a good third shot opportunity once we get further up that fairway on the right hand side, because we're going to essentially need the distance. So we're going to play it with the sniper, in my opinion, on that right hand side is what we're going to do, because we're looking to lay up on the right hand side and take a third shot straight in at the pin from the rough on the right hand side. And I know that looks like quite a bit of a distance to travel, but it is a good option. Now, if we're playing this to the left-hand side, definitely do keep in mind that either way that you play it, it is going to be plus 10% elevation at max distance off of the tee box. But our second shot option here is just going to be played with 0% elevation. So what we're looking for here is full topspin on our big dog. You may have to use that little bit of overpower, but we're looking to just one hop and then clip the rough a little bit further up than I did there. But we're looking to clip the rough and roll straight out towards the pin. And you may actually end up landing that one for the albatross. And that's going to be, the best opportunity in the game to actually get the albatross on this hole. So if you're playing it to the right hand side, what we're going to do is get as far up towards that corner as we possibly can. And you don't want to play this hole with the big dog. What we want to do is get as far as we can towards the front on our drive, and then play this with the sniper. We're going to use, top spin to get it as far down, hugging the left hand side as we can, because it's going to set us up for that really nice rough bump like we've been talking about. So on that third shot there, you're going to be coming out of the rough across the entire green. So you're going to need quite a bit of topspin there. But if you do play this on the left-hand side, you're going to either end up with a short iron chip right outside of the green, where we're just going to play it a straight-up short iron approach, mid or minimum distance. You may even be in max distance with your short iron, but we're going to be playing that plus 10% elevation as well. So keep that in mind on your third shot, that if you are out and around the green, or you're playing this rough bump shot here on the right hand side, we're looking to be at the very front part of the rough. We don't want to be back where the second rough line is, and we don't want to play this with as much topspin as you saw him play this here. We only want roughly 3 bars of topspin. So we're looking for a roughly like right there where his ball guide is just extended out. But the ball guide with the big dog is obviously going to lie to you out of the rough. And it's going to be a lot further that your ball is going to travel than what you actually expect. So you guys can use this as a good location to judge your shot from. But we're going to be using the sniper here. And what we're going to do is hit that perfect ball, and it's going to come just hit that rough, and it's going to just clip. It's not going to roll that fast. So please keep that in mind, that your ball is not going to roll that fast. He had like 5-6 bars of topspin on there, and we only need 2.5 to 3. So definitely keep that in mind there for hole number 9, par 5, if you do play the right-hand side. But the left-hand side there is probably going to be our best bet. But that's going to be the wrap-up for the Pro and Expert Division guide and walkthrough video here for Bubba's 9-hole cup. So I hope this guide and walkthrough helped you guys. If you guys happen to be looking for some more information and really want to help dial in your shots and get the exact placements, exact adjustments, spin, everything, that's where we're going to be laying out all of that information on the Patron platforms. This week we are going to be starting to do the text guides and weekly tournament guides as well. But it all just kind of depends on the amount of time that I do have to work with during the week, as I am still working and doing all of the content. So it is quite a bit of work. So all of your guys' support, appreciation, and all of the stuff that you guys help out with the team and everything, it really does truly mean so much to me, guys, because we are building a dynasty here. This is going to be huge one day if I have anything to do with it, and basically I'm running it, so we're gonna run it to the top, boys. So let's do it. Let's do it together. Let's make it big. And we're going to transcend Golf Clash one day and become an absolute amazing community that's going to help change the world. So thank you guys very, very much for being here with us today. If you'd like to become a patron, definitely check the link down in the description below. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys, on your way out. Leave a comment. Let me know how you guys thought of the video. And please do consider sharing it with your friends. It really does help. So thank you, guys. Hope you guys, wish you the best of luck out there. Hope you guys do awesome. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.